guys. I have successfully talked for 33 minutes while not live. That's what just happened. My heart just dropped when I looked. There were no stats. There was no one watching, and I was like, that's weird. I usually get at least one other person in here, and nothing. It wasn't actually live. So in OBS there is something, it says start streaming, and then you have to actually press go live, and I didn't press go live, and I'm exhausted, guys. I'm completely exhausted because I was talking some good shit. That sucks. I was really sharing about capitalism. I was so in flow that I didn't even I don't even know how to start over again. Yeah. You ever done that? You ever done that thing? Okay, so I guess I'll just start over. I mean, kitty cat's here. Good boy, Tito. So I want to share something I've been going through, something I've been experiencing with work. And that and working in capitalism, within capitalism. So just one story, the first story. So I got a new catering gig 3 weeks ago. Excuse me. So it's just, go to a place, help serve. And so 3 weeks in, still getting used to the software that we use, and the procedures with everything. And I emailed the staffing coordinator. I said, hey, I need May 22nd to 25th off. Just want to let you know. She's like, oh, great. Put it in the system and then I can approve it. I'm like, oh, right. Okay. That's how I do it. So I go in there, I get my schedule. I go in there, put my days off, then I get my schedule today, and I'm scheduled on one of those days. And I'm like, what happened? So I went back into the software, and it looks like I did it wrong when I put in my days off. I just put in the first day, the 22nd, and not the rest of the days. So I got scheduled for the 23rd. And so I'm just like, on top of that, I had already shared that I needed those dates. And so it was my error in the app, just learning it and everything. I just know with that job, when I was hired, they're like, even if you get in a car wreck and can't make it, even if you're scheduled and you didn't say you wanted it off, you didn't request off, you get some type of infraction. And just thinking of that, I'm like, how like childish, I guess, in a way. And maybe that won't apply to me, who knows. But it seemed like for even the smallest things, I understand you have to have a system, um to make sure that people show up when they say they're going to show up. And I get that. They're also having trouble keeping people staffed, from what I hear. Okay, I'm not going to gossip like that. But I thought, now I have to go email this woman again, say I can't make this shift, say, put in my actual time off. And I'm like, how is it that I have to now ask for permission to go have fun with my friends? And I've never been the type of person who's like, oh, I don't want to work at all. I just want to relax. And that's kind of me right now. Ain't gonna lie, that's kind of me. So, this is why my whole first fucking video was better. Sorry, guys. But I feel like from that story, it's just like I need to. Now I remember where I was going. I need to work these events to make money to live, right? There are different options that I have, but either way, I need to work. And then I think, what am I working for? What happens at these things that I get paid for? Weddings, which is just like capitalism on drugs. Some banquets, fundraisers, reunions, right? Parties, gatherings, all this. And it's nice. It's given us things to do. It's given people things to do with their time. But part of it is like, is this necessary? Even a big wedding. Maybe just a wedding in general. Is this necessary? And so thinking about DoorDash too, which I do occasionally, haven't since gas has gone up to $4.20 past week. But even DoorDash, you think of, what am I delivering that time? Yes, sometimes I am delivering to medications to people, or I don't know, people who can't drive. Of course, but a lot of it is just fast food. It's random drinks. It's alcohol. And I just think that we have now created, as humankind, right? We have created this system in which we need things, in which we think we need all of these things. For what? For what? We need a wedding. No, you don't. We need a banquet to celebrate this. No. Does that mean you can't celebrate anything ever? No. I mean, with DoorDash, do you need a Happy Meal? Right? I get groceries. You want me to buy your groceries for you? I actually like those orders. You just go around, grocery shop. But it has created this market of needing. And I'm still in my head pissed off about me losing the 30 minutes that I was talking. But I want to show you this video that
Is there anyone out there?
Okay. Chill out. That I made, and then I want to share the comments that I've gotten from it because it just explains the why. The neediness, right? The neediness of capitalism. All right.
Sometimes when I DoorDash and I get just one boba drink, I'm like, really? A boba drink? Really? That's what I'm taking to a person 13 minutes away. I'm taking to them. And then I remember, this bitch paying my bills. Sometimes when I DoorDash.
Okay, so that was literally, I had just picked up a boba and I was just standing in line like, really? I'm taking one boba to somebody. Like, what princess am I delivering to today? What princess asked for a boba today? And then I remembered, because it is my choice to DoorDash, it is my choice. Okay? So when I say need or have to, I understand that doing things is my choice. So I realize, okay, this is my choice. I'm doing that. Nobody's making me do this. So you know what? I'm gonna be grateful. I'm gonna be grateful that whatever I get paid for here will help me, just pay my bills, have money, enjoy life. And I think it was like a $7 order or something, 7 or 8. I don't know if I take any orders under $7. There are some, but I don't take them. And, even for a boba, like if you think, say, it was 13 minutes away. It's probably like 4 miles or something. But you think DoorDash, the minimum amount I can make on an order is $2. That's what DoorDash pays out. And then on top of that, it's only customer tip. So sometimes when it's further out, or I guess it's in a weird spot, or maybe it's busy, then they'll raise the $2 rate to something else. I don't know. But the rest of it is tip. So people think, hey, I spent $10 on a boba drink. $5, if I give $5 tip to this driver, that's 50% tip. But no, it's not. It would be 50% tip if you were in the restaurant. If you were in the boba drink place and you tipped $5, that would be a 50% tip. But as a dasher, as a driver, we're not in the restaurant with you. We are coming from one place to pick up your thing and then driving to you, to where you do not have to leave, wherever you're at. That is more. That is, I wouldn't even say more, that's additional work. Because it's not necessarily more than like making a boba drink. Like, it might be different skills. I don't necessarily know how to make a boba drink. Especially one that looks like that on the video is so good. But it's additional time. So you're not even tipping the people who are actually making the boba, which is kind of wild. Like, they miss out on the tips if they're still making the drink. they don't get tipped. So it's like, that's one way DoorDash is kind of hurting restaurants in general. The customer still pays a good amount of money, and then a lot of it goes to DoorDash. A lot of it goes, the operations part goes, and wages go to the restaurant. A little bit goes to the driver, and none for the employee. It's except for just, their wage. But $5, it's just different. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's all I have to say about that. But I wanted to go through some of the comments, because going into this idea of being in a society that we have built and we have created, and it's hard to see the choices that we have within it, but we do have them. And I think the first choice we have in the type of society we live in is the awareness of, why am I doing this? Why am I ordering one boba drink? Why? What's making me have this impulse? Because I think in the end it just goes to, oh, well, I have been programmed by society and by marketing and nonstop advertisements that I absolutely need all of these things. But you don't. So let's go through some of these comments, and it kind of turned into a great advertisement for DoorDash, and I think they should use it as a campaign, because it turned into like testimonials of why people use DoorDash, of because they can't drive, they have cancer, like for physical limitations, all of the above, or they're so depressed they can't get out, like that. Those are some good things that delivery services, not just DoorDash, delivery services do for people. But that's like such a small amount of people. Okay? I've delivered almost 900. Sounds like I'm bragging. I'm not. But like 900 deliveries, there's 90% of those people who could, but don't. And I get it. You paying for convenience. Hey, again, there can be a balance between having fun, enjoying, and like absolutely needing something at the detriment to our society. And it's I think it's not the types of needs or wants, it's the amount. It's the amount of them. Like, think of how many restaurants like stay open because people need to go to them so often. So it's the need. So let's go through some of these comments. Okay, so first one, I'm going through chemo and can't drive due to muscle weakness and cold sensitivity. I'm very grateful for the drivers bringing me my single comforts while I'm home miserable. Happy to pay your bills. Got a lot of these. So sweet. Very sweet. And I'm, hope all of these people heal. I mean, truly. Thank you, because I always feel horrible when I ordered one or two things, but I don't drive for medical reasons, so I depend on y'all. Again, great advertisement for DoorDash. My son's girlfriend moved 2/3 of the way across the country. Sometimes he'll send her a treat through DoorDash. I think it's cute. And I play around with these people, okay. But I think the bigger thing Like with this. So sometimes your son will send his girlfriend a treat through DoorDash. Cool. Again, what happens every single time this somebody sends a treat to somebody else? What is happening economically? Because it is a nice idea. It's super cute for someone to send a treat to a long distance partner relationship. It's very cute. But you think of it economically, and you think of what I just said about, oh, maybe he goes and gets a cupcake, right? At this bakery, he orders a cupcake. So the driver goes and gets the cupcake. The employee doesn't get tipped. The driver possibly, doesn't get tipped that well or enough to make a living wage. That's not cute. See, one of the things I hate about me missing the first 30 minutes of my talk is I can't remember when I said then and what I've already said to you guys. But I might be describing socialism when I give this example. And that's why I think capitalism works up to a point. But, if somebody orders through DoorDash, if we want to make wages comparable, if somebody orders through DoorDash and they make $50 an hour, then when DoorDash calculates how long it's going to take the driver to go pick up and drop off, to go from where they are to pick up to drop off, so say it takes 30 minutes, then the person who orders, who makes $50 an hour, should pay a $25 fee on that. Because they're paying for convenience. So they're not paying for a robot to do that time. They're paying another person to do that. And that's what convenience has become, right? I need to hire other people, pay them less than me. And that's convenience. But it has come to the point where convenience is becoming cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and so people are getting paid less and less and less. And I say convenience has been getting cheaper, but you look at DoorDash and there are insane amount of fees, and it's because DoorDash is taking them, right? Like, convenience actually hasn't gotten cheaper for the consumer. It's gotten a lot cheaper for the companies, right? Because DoorDash doesn't have to have a fleet of cars to deliver. Uber doesn't have to have a fleet of cars to pick people up. Like, convenience has gotten easier and cheaper for companies, because then they just use other people to pay them less to go out and do the actual work. Because DoorDash wouldn't be anything without the delivery drivers. You could have an infrastructure, you could have the software, you could have the buildings, you could have the offices, you could have the marketing, but you literally wouldn't be anywhere without the drivers. So actually, the company relies on the drivers more than the drivers rely on the company, but the drivers, the psychology, I think, is that the drivers actually need the company. When I don't think we do, but I don't have the answer on how to get out other than just look for another job. So, again, these things, yes, okay, cute, but economically not cute. Not real cute. There were quite a lot of these. The pregnant, people are pregnant. Thank you for your service. I'm very pregnant. There's a lot of these. Shout out to the people that would deliver my single boba. I was incredibly depressed, and sometimes a boba was the only thing that seemed appealing. So I've gotten a lot of those, and it's like, I know people get weird cravings when they're pregnant. I've heard it. I crave cheese. Um, but I think capitalism has made, every time I say the word capitalism, a an IPO gets its wings or something. I don't know. But 10 years ago, there was absolutely no one who craved a boba because nobody knew what boba was. At least in America. Nobody knew what boba was. But now, 10 years later, there has now been this creation of cravings for bobas. So either people are literally having physical cravings for bobas, or psychologically they're having cravings for bobas. And then they just order one boba. I think that is not... I don't think that's our true nature. I think that is the nature we've been programmed to... We've been programmed by to live. There's a few of these comments. People being able to get up and just go is a blessing. People forget that, not something everyone can do, which is so funny because like that this video just went completely over your head. Right? I wasn't saying that you shouldn't order a boba. I was just saying, like, really? You need a boba? That's what I was saying. You need a boba? And turned out, no. They didn't. They didn't. I'm just thinking, could you imagine, like, an ambulance and just somebody calling an ambulance for, oh, I chipped a nail, right? It's like, I chipped a nail. I need you to get here. I need to order a nail repair immediately. And then the emergency's like, really? Really? I'm taking this whole ambulance and all my stuff to go over here because somebody chipped their nail? Really? That's what I was saying. You don't need it, okay? And then this just, I know why people get DoorDash. Most of the reason is because they just do not want to leave the house. But, you know, the people who aren't able to get up and go, they're a very small percentage of the people who order DoorDash. Just want to make that clear. So it's so funny when people come in here and try to be like a savior and speak for the 10% of people who these people think that they can't speak for themselves. Because I just feel like nobody who is actually unable to do that comments what this person commented. You know, they wouldn't be like, oh yeah, well, I don't have legs. Okay? People forget that. People forget that's something not everyone can do, okay? I haven't seen that yet. This is all fully abled bodies being like, you forgot about these people who can't, and the people who can are just like, why are you bringing me into this? Why are you bringing me into this? My thoughts. Say everyone talking about medical issues or being pregnant, I'm just lazy and I don't want to put shoes on. I tip heavy too. And you know, I appreciate that. And a lot of people have said on here, you know, I'm a good tipper. I just want to know. I just want a screenshot of these tips. Because what are they? Sometimes I'll get an orders for $7 and it'll be like, high paying order. And I'm like, high paying? $7? That's a high paying order. Maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe I just know that me as a human being is worth more than taking this time for a $7 order. And with you gaslighting me saying it is a high paying order. Like, I need double digits. Give me double digits at least for a high paying order. So, look, you are innocent until proven guilty with everyone who says they tip heavy. You are innocent. I believe you. Until proven guilty, post those screenshots. Let's just see. Because I think people think that, again, well, I tipped $5 on a $10 boba drink. That's 50%. No. The economics aren't as tight and fun and cute as the idea or the actual theory of it. Me right now waiting for my single venti matcha. For what? So, Shay, I have my bi-weekly post-therapy boba drink DoorDash. You are a hero. I get it. Like, capitalism has made us these people of, like, every 2 weeks I'm going to treat myself after therapy with a boba drink. And there's nothing morally wrong with that. There's nothing, like, people can judge all day. You're still going to do it. It's still going to make you happy. Great. But should we? Just asking the question, should we? That's it. It's my only question. Should we? And if someone's like, yes, we should. Great. Someone's like, oh, wait, maybe we shouldn't? Oh, great. Okay, I'm just asking the question. I don't know. There's a couple people that I kind of like said some shit too. Kind of me being a dick, I think, a little bit. Like someone says, when my husband and I were first dating, he lived 2 hours away, was sick one day, and I DoorDashed him a bowl of soup. Sometimes it's more than just an item. And sometimes I take people's comments and I like listen to them in my own head and how it actually sounded. And, I don't think it was like, sometimes it's just more than an item. But that's how I came back at it. I was like, I'm not saying people shouldn't. My point is, one, the back and forth I go between being grateful, for getting paid, and the menial work I have to do for it. And two, customers of DoorDash have to remember that if it takes me 30 minutes to get a boba, and my final pay is $5 because of $2 delivery plus $3 tip, that's $5 for 30 minutes of my time. 2 orders like that, and that's $10 hour gross income. Yes, it's more than just an item. It's also my income. I don't want to sound like a whiny bitch or a math teacher because I just gave her this whole equation. But, like, you're telling me that I'm doing something for you that's more than just an item, but you don't give a fuck who I am. You care more about the item than you do the actual driver who's making all of that happen. I'm on a soapbox, and I don't mean to be. Let's see if there are any other ones. So I do this occasionally because I work alone in a hospital lab and I can't leave, and I sometimes just really want a fancy boba drink, but I always tip really well. Screenshots, girl. I drive Sparkin every time I bring an old person's groceries, and they're so grateful it makes it worth it. That's the thing I actually like. Bringing groceries or items, people who really need it. I'm sorry, just all I wanted was a big iced tea while I was at work. But did you need it? Did you need it? That's all I'm saying. Did you need it? And I know I sound like an asshole. I do, I sound like an asshole. What do you want from me? So I think I'm gonna end this. You know, I said I was going from 12 to 1, and I did, but I was only live from 12:35 to 1:10 because I missed the whole first 30 minutes of this. So, but I wanted to talk what I wanted to talk about, which was the boba. So, win there. All right, guys. Excuse me. I will see you on the next live stream. I'll post on my YouTube page when that is. So,